Hello, and welcome to TempCAD full tutorial with tips, voiced by Google Voice Generator. In the next few minutes, we're going to show you how to create a 3D printed enclosure for your IoT project. On the example of wireless Raspberry Pi with touchscreen. Download and install TempCAD from Google Play. We have here Raspberry Pi 3, Pi, TFT 2.4 touchscreen, and two variations of power supply. First one is 2000 mAh single cell on the right, and second is more powerful and the flat one, 6000 mAh on the left. First, we need to mount the touchscreen on top of the Raspberry Pi. We're going to use two standoffs, 10 mm high 2.5 m thread, so it won't be wobbly. For these standoffs, we're going to print a mounting bracket. For visual representation, we suggest to photo your PCB, at least from the top view. Open TempCAD app. Crop the photo you just made, it's fairly easy to do. Now let's measure our Raspberry Pi, to get an accurate representation of what we call volume. The width, the depth, and the height. Now, insert these values. You can add two more views. Later you'll see why it's handy. To complete our new volume settings, click on Create. Click on the volume to enter the volume settings. Now let's open the template library. By clicking on the plus button, choose Mounting Plate Template. Now we need to measure the distance between the screw holes on our Pi. Now insert the values to the sliders on the right to change dimensions of the template. Click on the left icon on the top panel to switch view from perspective to orthogonal. You can click on the volume and enter the settings if you want to change its position. You can click on the right icon on the top panel to turn the grid on and off. Let's adjust the height of the screws. The height of the printed bracket will be +1 mm. You can click on the middle icon on the top panel to see the resulting product. Looks like we're ready to print. Click on the Export button on the upper right corner. You can use any slicer you prefer, we use Cura. Notice that width and depth of the mounting plate are exactly +5 mm. The print is ready. As you can see, the mounting plate fits perfectly the screw holes on Raspberry Pi we just measured. Now let's assemble our Pi on the mounting plate and the touch screen on top. Ready and looks pretty solid. Now we're going to print the body for the first setup with one cell. Repeat all stages again with this volume. Make a top view photo. Crop it and add more views for better visualization of the volume. Measure the width, the depth, and the height of the volume you want to wrap. Insert the measurements. Create the volume. As you can see, I accidentally switched between width and depth values. Not a problem, that's why we need our volume visualization. Click on the volume to change size settings. Looks much better. Now let's choose the wearable template. Notice, as we drag the sliders, the value automatically stops on the volume. According to the data sheet, the size of this touch screen is 60 by 42.8 mm. Looks like we're ready to print. Notice, the dimensions of the resulted enclosure are exactly the same as those we just made in TempCAD, except for the height, because of the height of the cover. The print is ready. Use flat screwdriver to open the snaps on the cover. Let's assemble everything into our freshly printed enclosure. Everything looks fine, but the 2000 mAh battery is dead by the time we printed this enclosure. That can't be good. Okay, now let's make another enclosure for the second battery. That one will work much longer. Again, making a photo. Cropping the image to the relevant part. Again, optional, 2 more views, just in case. Taking the measurements. Entering the measurements. Now let's click on the Create button. That's our new volume, with the second, power supply option. Again, let's go to the library, and choose our wearable template. Drag the sliders, to adjust the values, to our new volume. Note that, the smaller the radius at the corners, the tighter the volume will fit. Again, our touch screen is 60 by 42.8 mm. Check your touchscreen measurements before applying that value. Looks nice, let's print. The print is ready, let's assemble. Thanks for watching. Enjoy using TempCAD. For more information visit tempcad.com.